Welcome to Life Stories. I'm Zuena Chirema, your host. Now, cancer is a disease in which abnormal cells divide without control and invade other tissues. There are more than 100 different types of cancers. Most cancers are named according to the organ or cell type. Today we zero down on breast cancer. Breast cancer is a disease in which malignant cells form in the tissues of the breast. The damaged cells can invade the surrounding tissue of the breast, but with early detection and treatment, most people lead a normal life. Today on the show, I bring you a breast cancer survivor who lost both her breasts during the battle, but she continues to live a normal life. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself to our viewers.
My name is Margret Okello. I'm a breast cancer survivor for 5 years now. I'm married with 5 children.
When did you find out you have breast cancer?
It was in 2007. I was running around my house wanting to join the aerobics class in the neighborhood, and that's when I accidentally touched my breast and felt something protruding like a swelling.
So what did you do when you saw that?
I first ignored it and thought that wishfully thinking it would go away. I felt it several times, but I pressed it hard and harder, and it was hard but not painful. And I waited until after a week, and it was still there, not paining as yet. And I never shared it with anybody until after about a week and a half, because my husband was busy doing his exams and I didn't want to disrupt him.
After a week, that's when you decided to share it with your husband?
Yes.
What did he tell you?
He was so angry with me that I kept it away from him. And he really wanted me to go and have a checkup at once.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened at the physician?
I had earlier on been to see the physician, who actually wasn't comfortable with my weight, because I had kind of put on weight. Okay. And she actually asked me whether I was going to do something about it. And I remember telling her that next time you see me, I'm just going to be that trim. And here I was presenting with something else. And when she saw me, she felt the lump and she was like, I'm not comfortable with it. Can we have a mammogram? And which means that I had to go for an X-ray of the breast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what happened afterwards?
I went, actually it was Kubidi, Kampala imaging, and I did the mammogram exam. And the results showed that actually it wasn't only one lump, there were 2. Much as I felt one, the machine revealed 2. So I was handed my results and I took them back to my physician. She said, okay, the best thing to do now is to do a biopsy. A biopsy means that they have actually to test what is inside those lumps.
Okay.
So she handed me over to a surgeon. And the surgeon decided that he could do either 2 things, either push in a needle and get some cells from those lumps, or would actually cut and remove them and take them for testing. So he said he was deciding to actually remove the actual lumps.
Okay.
So he decided to book me for that operation.
So from there you just decided to come back home, right?
Yeah, that time, because there was nothing, I had to wait for the doctor's for the operation. Yeah, an appointment for the operation. And he told me to just be a day thing. I had to book in the morning and get out after the operation.
So all this time when you found out you have the lumps in your breast, you already had your children?
Yeah, I did.
How many are they?
5.
5. Okay, so what happened next?
So when the day came in, I remember it was a Thursday. I went in and was booked in, and the doctor, I think the operation started around 2 o'clock. But during the operation, the doctor discovered that actually there was a 3rd lump after removing the 2 lumps, there was a 3rd tiny lump also starting to form. So he removed all the lumps and gave them all to my husband to take them to the pathologist in town to do more tests on them. So that evening I was discharged, but my husband ran with took them to the pathologist and came back and picked me and brought me home.
What happened when you collected the results?
We were handy actually when we went to the pathologist. The attendant, the lady who was at the reception, handed us the envelope. And in the envelope was a typed report. And in the report, it showed that I had ductal carcinoma, which meant like I had cancer of the ducts, as I came to understand later. At first I was in disbelief because I thought those could not be my results. I had never at any point in time fathomed that I could actually get such a dreaded disease. I said, there must have been a mix-up.
Mistake, yes.
Sincerely, these are not my results. And she was like, okay, what can we do about it? You're supposed to take this back to your surgeon. And I was like, could I talk to the professor? I was like, okay, you can talk to the professor, but I think it would be a good idea if you came back on Monday.
All this time you were still with your husband?
Yeah, I was with him. Went back to the car, sat down, you know, still wondering, is it real or am I dreaming? Is it a dream, which is a bad dream which I'm about to wake up from?
Yes.
You know, but we sat there, no one was talking. I think everyone was thinking. I was actually numb. I don't know whether I was feeling or not feeling anymore. I was just there, blank, you know, not knowing what to think anymore. And when we reached home, I started even complaining to God, okay, God, why me? Why at this point in time when my children are still young?
In most cases, they say cancer is inherited. Is there anyone in your family who has cancer or has ever suffered cancer?
I had my auntie who had cancer of the colon. She passed on. Prior to that, my own sister, my elder sister, passed on due to cancer of the ovaries. Yeah.
So sorry about that. Here you are, you're home. Did you tell the children that same day what was happening to you?
No, I didn't. I remember we just told them, because they went to their father, asked them what was wrong with mommy. And their father said,
because they saw you crying.
Yeah, they saw me crying. And my husband just told them that I was unwell.
What had you in mind? Like, let me say, tomorrow I'm going back to hospital, and if I'm told it's cancer, I'm going to do this or that. Or I'm going to embrace it, or I'm going... I don't know, what was running through your mind then?
Sincerely speaking, I never thought it was cancer, okay? So I didn't even want to venture into thinking anything, okay? All I was thinking about was, it's not cancer.
It's not.
Okay?
Okay, here we are. It's a Monday. Was it a Monday morning?
Yes.
A Monday morning.
Yeah.
You went to the doctors. Did you go with your husband?
Yes, I did.
So what happened?
I went upstairs and asked the attendant to see the pathologist, and I had the report with me, and indeed he confirmed that those were the actual results. All right. So I felt like I'd been thrown down at the bottom of the ocean.
After the doctor dropped the bombshell at you that actually you have cancer, what was running through your mind? What was the first thought you had?
It was like, this is it. I've got it. But did I accept that I had it? No. The answer is no. I was still in denial. I'm like, yes, the doctor is saying one thing, but how about if it's not what he's saying? He's just human, okay?
He makes mistakes.
He makes mistakes. The mistake thing took a long time within me, okay? I thought it must have been a mistake, and I thought that it would be rectified some time to come. But as for the advice, yes, I've got to take his advice. And he advised me to go to Cancer Institute and seek proper treatment. After listening to him, we decided to go to the Uganda Cancer Institute.
In Mulago.
Okay, in Mulago. I had never been there. I didn't know how to start. So when we reached the Cancer Institute, in the parking, I said, now, where do I begin from? There's no even sign showing that this is where
the reception,
you go. So there are buildings, I didn't know which building to go to. And I told him that I've just been told that I've got breast cancer. And I was like, what? Do you have anything to show? I said, yes, here is the report. I said, now, what next, doctor? Here I am, I was told come to Cancer Institute. Here I am at the Cancer Institute, what next? He asked me how I had found out, briefly. In short, I told him in short. I handed to him the report, the pathology report. And then he was like, okay, there was an attendant in his office, someone he called and said, can you help this lady? Can you make sure that he gets, you open a file for her, okay? So in brief, he told me what treatment I was going to go on, but he told me also that it was going to be a phased treatment. So it's one treatment after the other. You finish one, you move on to the next treatment, then you move on to the next treatment. So as I listened to him, then he told me that all I'm going to do for now, I'm just going to give you these papers, so you go and do the investigations, okay? Some tests basically to be done before we can embark on treatment. So I remember he gave me an investigation slip for X-ray, for the lungs, for the abdominal scan, for the bone scan, for the blood, all the blood tests, the liver functions, the kidneys, all those I had to do. But in the meantime, I also, that day after from the doctor, I decided to look up my friend, the physician.
The one you had told before about the lung?
Yes, yeah, the one who asked me to do the mammogram. So I went back to her and told her how they have actually discovered that I have cancer, okay?
How did she react?
She was shocked, but I think being a medical person, she knew that it could go either way, all right? And she comforted me and told me that even if it's cancer, we can beat it, okay? But please don't be swayed into accepting any other type of treatment other than Mulago treatment, okay?
Yes, not only cancer, any sickness you get, even if it's an accident, even if it's what, the first thing you get, not that people don't care, but I think it's more of caring, and you want someone to save some money, so they bring all these ideas, herbals, you go to the witch doctor, I think it's cheaper, I know of a friend of mine who used to be a doctor, but he's now doing his things at home, he's cheaper, you know.
So I listened to her advice, and then she told me, Margaret, it may come to a point that they may actually remove your breast. And I was like, God, how will I manage without a second breast? That's the first question I asked her, how am I going to look? I actually thought hard about it, and I was like, I never really thought about that. And she said, with a breast, yes, you still live your life, and nobody will ever be able to tell that you don't have a breast until you open up and tell them that I don't have a breast. But much as the doctor is going to say one, but me, being your friend, I would prefer that both breasts are removed. What?
That's a hard one. I
said, what? Again? And she was, yes, you my friend, you're still young, you have so many years to live. I would want you to live a stress-free life without thinking about cancer of the breast again.
The month of October is well known as the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Since its inception more than 25 years ago, National Breast Cancer Awareness Month has been at the forefront of promoting awareness about breast cancer and its issues.